and this will be for outright pole position and the Allan Simonsen pole position trophy. At the moment it is the 88 car. There's a symmetry in that at the moment. That was the team that Allan was most associated with here at the Liqui-Moly Bathurst 12 hours. They sit on provisional pole at the moment, and they are out early to defend that time from this morning.
And the fastest man ever around here in a V8 supercar is currently driving that car. Craig Lowndes is behind the wheel of car 88. Right behind him is Laurens Vanthoor in the number 3 Audi from Phoenix Racing. Marcus Winkelhock shown behind the wheel of the United Autosports number 25 car. Then Maro Engel. It's Dean Fiore watching on from pit lane. He'll sit this one out. And getting some love from the team as well. That's a little bit concerning. Maro Engel behind the wheel of number 1. Gee, he was fast yesterday. Shane van Gisbergen in number 37. It was Will Davison getting behind 63. Still showing up as Jack LeBrock, but we saw Will getting behind the wheel of that car. Mok Weng driving the 33 Clearwater Ferrari. They're sticking with their strategy.
Yeah. I'll tell you what was interesting there, gents, was Vanthoor looked for a moment as if he was going to have a go to get past the Ferrari and come round first, and now he's dropped back behind again, or Lowndes speeded up again, didn't want to let him by. You be the judge of that one.
If I was Vanthoor and following Craig Lowndes around here, I'd stay behind Craig, because there's no one better at this place.
The other one to keep an eye on, I think, is going to be Peter Cox in the Lamborghini number 23, because he's gone out not quite last, but well back, and it's going to be easy to miss him.
Maro Engel is in the lane for Erebus Motorsport and the AMG cars, and that is interesting because he's done an outlap and come straight back in. So what is he going to tell the team, and what are they going to be able to do about it when he has told them?
We've only got 9 cars out. I'm just looking for which one. We haven't got the HTP car out, have we? And we haven't got the Nissan out.
Nope.
So they're keeping their powder even drier.
Alex Buncombe drove that car in the last session, so Rick Kelly's been the fastest of the 4 of them, though it has to be said, not by a massive margin. It was 4 of those drivers. I mean, at the moment, they are the car with the best average driving combination, and all 4 drivers in the top 20 driver times yesterday, only team to do that, Paul.
Yep, no, I agree with that.
Lowndes not there on the split time, a couple of seconds or so off what we would expect to see if he was going to be troubling the time set by Mika Salo in that car earlier on. It is a used set of tyres on the 88 Ferrari, and all of a sudden that Audi looks a little bit closer again, and this might be a good lap from Vanthoor. Can he improve his position on the grid for the Liqui-Moly Bathurst 12 hours tomorrow, starting at 6:15 in the morning local time? Our broadcast starting at 6 o'clock. And don't forget, if you're here in Australia, SBS is the last couple of hours live on Network National Television. If you can't get to that, you can watch us on the computer with the streaming video, or on radiolemans.com. Take us with you if you're wandering around on your smartphone or Bluetoothed into the car. Local radio station 2BS on 1503 AM as well for those of you around the Bathurst area. So we've got you covered.
You're going to be big around here, because not only were you on the back page of the Western Advocate newspaper the other day, but you'll be live on 2BS for the rest of the week as well. Interestingly enough, no lap time on the first lap, really, 2:07.7, as the Erebus Mercedes comes back out of pit lane right into Craig Lowndes.
That's interesting, isn't it?
But we have been seeing laps set on the 2nd, 3rd and 4th laps of a run, so it's giving us some lessons, I think, this surface, and we're understanding as Van Gisbergen does a 5.7 on his first flyer. We're understanding a little bit more about this circuit, that it is going to take, it's not particularly abrasive, it's going to take a couple of laps despite 54-degree track temperatures. It'll take a few laps to get tyres up to their operating temperature, where you can go and bang in a time that might get you somewhere up the grid. Having said that, Van Gisbergen into the 5s straight away in the 12C, so a very, very good lap by the Flying Kiwi.
Yeah, and it was done very quietly in a sense, wasn't it? He just went out and did it on his first flying lap. Do we suspect that might not be Jack LeBrock at the wheel of the...
I think that's Will Davison.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I noticed you weren't saying Jack LeBrock, and it's saying it on the screen, but I just wonder whether Will, if it is he, can push the right button in the cockpit. I've been shown how they work, and it's just a little button that you have to press, and it's either blue, yellow, red or green or something, and then the system will update itself on our screens.
So we are already getting on for halfway through this session, just coming under 9 minutes. It was a 15-minute session, so getting down towards 8 minutes thereabouts, and we are still waiting to see someone improve their grid position. Who will do it? Peter Cox winding up for a decent lap here. He should be down inside a 2:06 in the 23 Lamborghini. What about the number 1 car? Maro Engel's just gone back out of the pit lane. What did they do? What if it was just a change of pressures on the tyres?
I can tell you what it was. It was brand new tyres. Sticker tyres for car number 1.
So he did an outlap, felt out the track, and then put a brand new set of Michelins on. That's interesting, isn't it? There is the Shane van Gisbergen driven McLaren.
This will be a very good lap too, John, because he went 1:23.2 to the second split. This could be net gain for Van Gisbergen here.
2:04.9 was his previous best.
4-0.
Oh,
4-0.
Goodness me, 4:0.06 for Van Gisbergen in the afternoon session.
Second fastest overall, not as quick as Mika Salo went in the morning session. 2:03.94 is the time to beat.
Close though, Paul. I didn't expect them to be that close.
Absolutely. No, you've got this balance, haven't you, between the increased grip that the heat gives you versus the decreased power that the heat gives you. So it would seem that the McLaren has got to grips with that balance, and Shane is certainly impressing once again here in Bathurst.
So
but I think there's more to come still.
Yeah, I think there is. So Mika Salo's time this morning was a 2:03.9421. Van Gisbergen 2:04.0006. Absolutely nothing between the two of them.
Just a 2:04, isn't it?
It's remarkable in the overall standings. Peter Cox has done a 5.7, only 7/10 slower than David Russell, who's been around here many a time. But you'd expect that from Peter Cox. He's pretty handy behind the wheel.
But how many times has Peter Cox been around this weekend?
Well, yes, not too many, I would suspect.
And that car is still pretty hot out of the box as well. I mean, it's had that change made to it to bring it into Class A. Wolfgang Wright being signalled as the driver of the Nissan, which has now come out of the pit lane as well. Number 32.
And that lap from Van Gisbergen bumps them out of the top 3 in qualifying. They're still in the second row overall, though, thanks to the very, very good 2:04.82 set early on. But that just jumps the...
puts Van Gisbergen is on the front row.
Onto the front row, but it bumps the Nissan out of the top 3. As Engel does a 2:04.02, misses out by 200ths. It's so close.
Look at the response in the garage as they knew that was the opportunity, I think, for their teammate, but he still maybe got another lap. Has he got another 3.86 miles of grip? There's John Barron, the blue T-shirt right in the middle. He knows this circuit. I think he could probably drive it blindfold.
I have absolutely no doubt in JP's ability to do it. Yeah. Still races here in Touring Car Masters in a 1969 Ford Mustang, believe it or not, as Van Gisbergen pits. I'd say that's their go. Just about done.
Front row, though. Front row for the McLaren.
Well, they can throw another set of tyres on it and go for another one.
Yeah, they'd still have some time. Maybe a checkered flag buster right at the very end. More from Shay.
You guys, the McLaren is in at the far end of pit lane. It looks like they are putting a new set of tires on it. They are going to go for that checkered flag buster as Hindy and Krelzy had been speculating. And to add to that, the Erebus Motorsports guys, they brought in both cars scheduled, planned. They let the guys go out, get a few laps under. In the case of the one, get 1 lap under their belt before putting new sticker Michelins on to try and go for the overall time.
A wry smile from Mika Salo as his teammate Craig Lowndes was just in the wrong place at the wrong time as far as Maro Engel was concerned as they came down through the S's, and Engel got very, very frustrated there, and the right-hand pedal mashed a couple of times, and the AMG Mercedes-Benz out of shape coming down through there. And I think the look on Mika's face, just watch this again. Watch the back end of the Mercury, a big slide around. There's nowhere else to go. Lounge does give way at that point. He makes himself look like a superstar, but you're placed in the middle of the road, and he's absolutely paggered that lap from Engel.
But it's exactly what I was saying. It comes down to luck,
Yes,
because
absolutely.
neither of them could possibly have planned that.
No.
It was just the way it fell out.
And the
But
Dipper,
Engel's not happy, though.
yeah, of all places, the Dipper is really only a one-lane racetrack.
Yes.
That might be the difference for Pole, perhaps, because he will be a very fired-up, young, very talented German race car driver behind the wheel of the number 1 car. So let's have a look at what Maro can do in number 1. 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go in qualifying. Car number 63, Will Davison behind the wheel. The Erebus car, they're 5th in the session with a 2:06.7. Where are they over in? They're still only 9th overall in the grid standings. So it's a 5th row start at the moment for the All-Aussie team from the Erebus camp. But what's Wilbo got? 50.8 to the first split. It's not bad. It's an improvement. It's a personal best. Bumpkin going very well too.
Yeah,
the Nissan GTR.
Yeah, the 32 car, a 50.5 to the first split for the white number 32. So used to seeing the Nissan as 23, of course, but 32 reversed the numbers on the Nismo Digital Age Performance GTR.
Peter Cox in, so that will be maybe a very short 1-lap run at the end if they want it for the Largo team for 23.
It'll have to be a quick stop if they do.
I think it's too close now.
Yeah, because he's got to get whatever the work is if they are going to put a new set of tyres on and then go. So I think Peter Cox's time may be limited.
Van Gisbergen back out in the McLaren, John.
I think that we've got Andrew Kirkcaldy back in the 37, back in the McLaren. I think Van Gisbergen got out when that McLaren got in. Hearing from one of our Twitter correspondents in the grandstand on the front straight, blue helmet with a white cross got in, and I'm fairly certain that's Kirkcaldy's helmet. Yeah. So thank you to Dominic Window, who tweeted at Specutainment and gave us an extra set of eyes. So keep an eye for the split times on the 37 McLaren.
Engel is so close to going quicker than Mika Salo. So Engel currently 3rd overall. The number 1 car running down into the final corner. The splits haven't been the outright fastest, but it's been a very good lap nonetheless from Engel. 2:03.85 goes to the top of the charts. Erebus back on top on the mountain. And that's a huge lap from Engel. It didn't look spectacular. The splits weren't great. They were good, but they weren't that great. But his last sector was very good, and he went to the top.
Don't pull the Engel.
No,
Craig Lowndes may well have done exactly the wrong thing coming down through the Dipper the previous time, because the dander is up. The red mist has descended for Maro Engel, and he has put in a cracking lap. 2 minutes, 3.8586 of a second. That is just remarkable in the big Mercedes-Benz, defending this race win from last year. Now there is Bunkum getting out of the way, so he wasn't on a quick one, or at least if he was, he's backed out of it.
And there's not enough time now to
Alex
start another lap.
Oh, no,
Alex did a 5.3 last time around.
The McLaren.
I bet he's out of fuel.
Yeah, well, that could be it. It wouldn't be surprising. The heroics of Shane Van Gisbergen getting them so close to pole. Still 3rd at the moment on the combined time. So the McLaren, I don't think anyone would have expected them to start on the 2nd row of the grid at this year's Liqui-Moly 12 hour.
But Davison can do something still, Craig's.
So this hasn't been a bad lap for Will Davison. Currently at 2:04.4, his best, which gets them to 4th. So let's see if he improves this time by. So a 2nd row start, perhaps, for the Erebus Mercedes. They'll get one more go if he needs it.
One more go, and he's got a clear track ahead of him. The checkered flag is not out, a 4.7.
He's got one more go. So let's see what the former FPR driver, now an Erebus V8 driver, can do behind the wheel of car number 63. Can it be a front row lockout? Maranello Motorsport, so close for almost a full day. They had what they believed was their trophy.
I'm just trying to work out whether the Nissan got across the line. I think it might have. 2:05.3, the best in this session for Alex Bunkner, and I think he's got one more lap as time has elapsed. The McLaren stranded at the side of the road heading up towards the start of the cutting, but it's been pushed out of the way.
Bunkum's one lap was a 5.3.
Oh yeah,
it's just an awesome job.
Yeah, exactly. He's still out there, and I think he didn't. I'm certain he got through without the checkered flag going out. The checkered flag is waving now.
That's an improvement for Will Davison on his previous best time.
Oh, look at that as he turns in at the top of the mountain, almost seeing air underneath the Mercedes-Benz. He rides the curb on the right-hand side through McPhillamy, now down through the S's. The car is starting to look twitchy. He's leaning on this, Crailsey.
Great lap so far from Will. Currently fourth overall, third in this session, 2:04.46. The best lap coming to the end of the second sector of the 6.213k circuit. Betty watching on from pit lane, wants both their cars. It's a PB for the car. It's better. He's up. Can he get them into the top three, perhaps?
2:03.5. Is there something like that in this car as he comes down Conrad for what will be his final time, heading towards the chase? He'll go across the white line on the left-hand side. Doesn't take a very aggressive line into the right-hander into the chase. Now, 2-3 more corners. There's tension down in the Erebus garage. They know there's something special. They'll have the Delta. They'll be watching. They haven't called him into the pits. They think this is still on. He's down towards Maguire's for the final time, turns in, fantastic turn in from the big bend, and the sprint to the line tells us
4-2, couldn't do it, couldn't do it, missed out on a top three in qualifying by 0.2 of a second. Great lap though from Will Davison. How was the commitment across the top of Mount Panorama?
That was outstanding, wasn't it?
That would have raised the heartbeats.
Bunkum coming through now as well, and his time about to update is a 5.3, so he hasn't improved.
Yeah, PB on his second lap, so 5.3.
He has improved, yes.
Yeah, it's an improvement on that last lap for him.
Yes.
But that car misses out on a top three position. I'm thinking ahead to the media conference I'll host in a second, but I was looking forward to talking to the Nissan guys, but gee, that's still an impressive performance. And celebrations at Erebus Motorsport. They have won the Allan Simonsen pole position trophy is theirs for the first time, and Maro Engel, having lost his V8 supercar drive not more than 2 months ago, finds himself the hero at Mount Panorama on the Saturday before the Liqui-Moly Bathurst 12-hour. Bernschneider and Nico Bastian on debut on the mountain. He did an awesome job. He will start from pole as well.
And how about this for a front couple of rows with Mercedes, McLaren, Mercedes, Lamborghini and Nissan, the times as they went through there, and that is quite remarkable.
And yeah, then the Audi and Ferrari following that in 6th and 7th places. Just to click back to last year, the winning Mercedes last year started the race on 7th slot on the grid. So being on pole doesn't mean anything at all.
And who's on 7th at the moment? That would be the 88 Craig Lowndes and the Ferrari.
Well,
and they've been 3rd, 2nd.
That was just that session though, remember. So on
point.
Combined times on the overall time, Mika Salo's 3.9 from this morning stands. So Engel beat Salo to pole by 0.5 of a second. That was the margin after a full day of qualifying. So that time was set at about 10:15 this morning. It's coming up to 5 to 3 local time. Mika Salo was on pole for 5.5 hours and got pipped by Maro Engel right at the very end.
Record at Bathurst. Congratulations. You'll be starting in first tomorrow.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a great start to the weekend for all the boys. You know, everyone's done a great job and worked really hard, and all the drivers have turned good laps. You know, really happy my teammates are doing a really good job, pushing really hard as well, and we've done all that without putting a scratch on it, and we start first, so it's a great reward.
It's a great way to start the race, considering that you finished, well, the team finished the race in first last year. What are your plans to try and get this car back to victory lane?
Well, it's obviously a long day. You know, pole position is great. It's a great feeling right now, but tomorrow, you know, everything's reset back to zero. It's a 12-hour race, so we'll have to just, you know, keep circulating, try and stay out of trouble, and be there in the last hour to be in contention.
Well, enjoy the party celebration right now. The race starts tomorrow morning at 6:15.
Thank you.
Wouldn't you think he'd have the good grace to look a little bit flustered? he looks like he's just walked out of an air-conditioned commentary box. Hey, Betty takes pole position, and what a great way to defend last year's victory. That is the power behind Erebus Racing. And look, how classy is that, by the way? Gone down to Maranello Motorsport to show some respect to the guys that they've beaten to pole position by half a tenth of a second.
And Mark Coffey, the team owner there at Maranello with Betty, and that it's great sportsmanship, isn't it? And the margin at the end was 0.0835, I think, between the two cars at the end of a full day's worth of qualifying. And Betty and Craig Lance just mucking around. CEO had to turn the hat around a little bit there, get some product placement in for his V8 sponsor. Here's a look at what was a great session. It worked, didn't it? It was fantastic.
Shane van Gisbergen putting down the marker early on in the McLaren. Looked for a while like they might have a front row position. Mauro Engel getting blocked, I'm sure unintentionally, by Lounsey, and getting very leery on the right-hand pedal. Andrew Cocotti took over the McLaren but didn't get all the way to the top of the mountain. That left the way clear for the number one of Mauro Engel, not just to take the pole position, but a new fastest mark around the mountain. 2 minutes 3.85.86, and so close to having a lockout of the front row as Will Davidson came across the line in the second of the AMG Benzes, but fell just a little bit short.
What a session. What a session. The drama.
No happiness there at all. No passion in motor racing there whatsoever.
The drama left right to the end, and the McLaren, we need to talk about these guys because they got themselves into the top three by some Shane van Gisbergen Kiwi heroics with a brilliant 2:04.006 lap in that session. And that was just a fantastic performance, Paul. And Will Davison, in the end, hauled the 63 car up into the top four on the second row of the grid.
Yeah, so you're going to have Mercedes on the front row and the second row of the grid, but not behind one another, but at angles to one another.
Thank you.
Alan Webber.
It's Mark Webber's dad. Yeah, it's Alan Webber.
I don't think MW is here, but nice to see
Not
Alan.
this year.
No.
He says, just starting the Twitter rumours again. Yeah, Alan Webber, Mark's dad there, with the checkered shirt on, down with Betty, the driving force behind Erebus Racing. It's just reminds you of what we saw in the session as the McLaren comes back on the end of a tour-up. And Mauro Engel then with that 2:03.8586. That's one that we'll be remembering for quite a while. Sadly, Andrew Cocotti having the slightly ignominious ride back. There's clearly nothing wrong with the McLaren in terms of accident damage, but they've either run out of fuel or they've lost drive.
I think Paul's right. I think
it's a fuel thing, because one of the things that Cocotti said to me this morning was he was unhappy with the way the fuel regulations work here at Bathurst, with everybody being given 100 litres. So yeah, it's an awkward one.
Now, this is the tricky bit, isn't it? When you come to the top of the mountain and you've got a car on a tow rope, it looks to me like they're going to roll him down and let someone else take it over.
Yeah, it's fine for pit lane from here. That'll roll down the hill. I would have thought all the way down. Yeah, no problems. They're pretty low friction, these GT3 cars. They try and reduce the rolling friction. So the happy team down there at Erebus Motorsport celebrating.
Pictures you'll see.
So Bernd Schneider, Betty in the middle, the team owner, Nico Bastian and Mauro.
Bernd looks a bit overwhelmed by it all, somehow, doesn't he?
As the McLaren comes down the hill, let's get down to the pit lane and take in some of that atmosphere with Aaron Nunes.
Thank you guys down in the Erebus Motorsport GT, and it's a very excited pit garage here because the inaugural Allan Simonsen pole position trophy at the Liqui-Moly Bathurst 12 Hour has been decided. It's been decided in favour of the German Mauro Engel, the all-German lineup with Nico Bastian and the defending winner Bernd Schneider. They will start from pole tomorrow. Bruce Morrison is with us from Liqui-Moly to present the trophy to the pole man for tomorrow, Mauro Engel. Present that trophy, Bruce. It is a massive trophy. If that's the trophy for pole, I'd hate to see the trophy for the race win. Let's jump in and have a talk to Mauro once the photographers have finished snapping. I don't want to photobomb their photos and get in trouble. Hey Mauro, that's a cool trophy.
That is one hell of a trophy. But look, I think it's also time to remember certain people. Obviously, first Allan Simonsen, what a great driver. We've all lost, but also Sean Edwards, who's a close friend to myself, Bernd, yeah, I'd like to dedicate that to them.
Well done. Stunning lap. We'll see you gentlemen at 6:15 a.m. tomorrow. Erebus Motorsport will start from pole for the Liqui-Moly Bathurst 12 hour. Can they beat the SLS? We'll find out at 6:15 tomorrow.
That's classy stuff from Maro Engel, who has impressed me in and out of the car this weekend. That is a fine trophy that he has got his hands on, the inaugural awarding of the Allan Simonsen pole position trophy here at Mount Panorama for a 2:03.85.86. Krelsey, thanks for being with us. That's set up a beautiful race for 6:15 tomorrow. Our show starting at 6 o'clock.